Really quickly, just a little bit of background. I'm from a little town called Salem, Oregon. I know there's probably a lot of people going around trying to impress other people saying they're from Salem, Oregon, but I am from Salem. And I grew up watching the Portland Trail Blazers religiously. But I kind of had an affair with the Blazers, and I really liked watching Michael Jordan. I was a big Michael Jordan fan, just like anyone else, I think, growing up in the 90s that had NBC. He was on all the time, right? Michael Jordan was a shy teenager. He got cut from his varsity basketball team. But then he grew up to become the greatest player the game had ever seen. In Michael Jordan's 13 seasons with the Chicago Bulls, he led the league in scoring 10 times, averaged over 30 points a game, won 5 MVP awards, and led his team to the NBA championship in each of his last 6 full seasons with the Bulls. Nearly everything about Michael Jordan's career unfolded like a storybook, including its final chapter. By the spring of 1998, Jordan led the Bulls into the NBA Finals against a veteran Utah Jazz. Chicago took a 3-1 lead in the series, but in Game 5, in Chicago, the Jazz managed to win and send the series back to Utah. All of a sudden, the Bulls, they seemed vulnerable for once. And to make matters a little bit worse, their other big star, Scottie Pippen, was hobbled and injured with a back injury. So if the Bulls were going to survive the series, Jordan was going to have to do it on his own. With less than a minute to play in Game 6, Jordan had scored 43 points, but the Bulls still trailed by 1. As the clock ticked down the final seconds, the game's greatest player showed what he was made of at both ends of the floor. Stripping the ball, stripping the ball of Karl Malone and advancing it past midcourt, the moment started to really become the moment for Michael. In his own words, with 5.2 seconds left, Michael Jordan's jump shot from the top of the key nailed the game, won the series, and capped his amazing career. Following the shot, Bob Costas, he said, that may have been, and we don't know what will unfold in the next several months, but that may have been the last shot that Michael Jordan will ever take in the NBA. At the time, of course, we didn't know for sure that Jordan was playing in his final game as a Chicago Bull. He'd have that stint with the Wizards, of course. But he would make that official just a few months later. But here's the cool part. As that final shot took flight, it seemed that Jordan suspended his arm in the air, as you probably remember, just an extra moment. Bob said, like an artist admiring a final brushstroke. You know, Jordan himself had always insisted that there was a practical reason for this. He was fatigued. His shots had been coming up short in the fourth quarter, and he was just remembering the fundamentals and making sure he followed through. In any event, he left us all, every one of us, with one last indelible image of perfection. And that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. As marketers, we embark on this journey to collect data, to make good decisions off of that data. We want as near perfect data set as possible to make those decisions. I'm going to walk through and talk a little bit about why it is so important that we have a data governance plan at each of our companies. Why, as marketers, we need to make sure this is top of mind. We've heard the word governance a lot more lately, and there's really, when I was just sitting down thinking about it, there's really 4 reasons why we need a data governance plan. The first really is to trust your data. Okay? Because you're here, chances are you care a lot about data and the implementation of tags. Your company's relying on you, your executive team, maybe even the board. They need the data to be accurate to make good decisions. Millions of dollars are spent in this room on marketing campaigns and advertising campaigns, and it's important that that data set is accurate. So those dollars spent are well spent. And I'll talk about that in a minute. The second reason is to be more efficient. When you have a governance plan, you introduce certain automated tools that can then allow you to not go through the manual process of checking line by line to make sure that your tags are where they should be.